So the sun's out, the sky's blue, mid-March, and I thought it's time to get the Mini back on the road. See what it's done in the winter, how it's wintered. I've kept it started and running a bit over the winter, but didn't use it. So mid-March now, I suppose. Last time I started it was mid-January, and I was greeted this morning to an alarm when I opened the car. The alarm went off, and I think the battery hasn't fared too well over the winter. See if I can get this on the screen. Try and get around it. So I tested the battery with my little Foxwell battery analyzer, and I've just turned it off by mistake, but the result was 9.68 amps. It's not focusing very well for some reason. 9.68 amps, 740 cold cranking amps, and there's 140 in the battery. So I think the winters, it's 3 years old. I think the winter has destroyed my battery, not using the car. If you use the car regularly and warm the battery up, it's not so bad. So I need a new battery. So I'm just going to go through the car now. Last time I took it out, I had the clunk on the back, so I think I know what that is. I bought some parts. I'm going to get underneath it and have a look, check all the lights, get ready for the MOT, because the MOT expired on March the 8th. So I need to go through it and then get it MOT'd. Oh, and I have had a, well, I'll show you later, and I've got a code on it. Last time I took it out, it was for knock again. Last time I had the knock, the knock code, it was because I had a boost leak. Did a video on that. Very good, that video was. Changed the induction hose, did a noise maker delete, I fixed that because it was blowing off there. But knock's come back. So I thought dirty valves maybe, don't know. Popped some fluid in it, got rid of it. I used Cataclean, ran the car for a bit and it turned the code off. And last time I drove it, I thought great, as soon as I put my foot down, knock code came back. Investigated it a little bit more, and it's saying the knock sensor code is implausible. So there's something wrong with the knock sensor. So that's an MOT file, so I've got to get on that as well. So yeah, I reckon I'm going to have a couple of days on this, doing all the jobs I need to do. Get it down the MOT, get it MOT'd, and then I've got other things planned this year to do with the car. But the first thing is get it down for an MOT and get it dewinterised. I should probably give it a service as well. I won't show you that, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay guys, right, I'm going to do this video now, and it's going to be just getting the car ready for MOT. It's probably going to be the knock sensor and that knock on the back end that I've got, because they'll pick that up. If I can pick it up, they'll pick it up. Right, I want a service. So right, I'm going to get on with this, and I'll get the battery on charge first. Right, I've had a bit of a look, and I've got this noise. I can feel it clunky, and I think it's down to these, which are the rear control arm bushes. Let me just get you out of there. I'll show you what they are. So these are the rear control arms here, and mine are adjustable. So in here I've got two sets of bushes, which is, where are they? I'm sitting on them. Which are there. I think these have gone. I think they've gone because my suspension is so hard. I've got the car jacked up on the drive at the moment. It's really sketchy. But I've got two jack stands. Wheels are chocked at the front, both ends, and I've got a ramp there. So I'm going to pop the wheel Okay, so that's the back end rigmarole off. I had to drop the cover for the under tray a little bit as well, just because I've got to get up into there. So that's the lower arm into there. That's the upper arm. Can I get it? Can I get it into there? There it is. So what I've got to do is I've got to undo this bolt here. I don't think that's going to be in the way because I can get a long ratchet spanner on that. But the problem is I've got to get something on the nut at the back here. And if I remember right, the bottom one wasn't too bad, but the top one was an absolute nightmare. So what to do? I'm gonna take the bottom one out first, drop it, change the bushes, stick it back on here, and then get the top one out. Up there, look, the top one, and then drop that one out, change the bushes, and then get it back in, and then get the bottom one back in, I think. So that's the plan. I was having a look around my underbody as well, and it's holding up. It's not too bad. There's a couple of little scabby bits. If I go in there, there's a couple of little scabby bits there, look. But it's not too bad. And in there as well. It's holding up quite nicely, which is good news. Right, what's this like here? Yeah, that's not too bad. I have got to do up here, this area. So the back bumper's got to come off. Do I do it now while I've got everything stripped off or not? I don't know. Right, so pop that off. Try and get some rigmarole on this round here, I think. And the biggest issue I've got there is dropping the nut. Mind you, it's only going to land here, I think. So if I do drop the nut, it's no great shakes. See how we get on. Well, that's the first one out. The bit that I thought was going to be difficult wasn't that difficult. Apart from, I had to remove the heat shield. So that was an unexpected job to get that out, but never mind, because the bolt wouldn't come out the hole because the heat shield was in the way. So just drop these off. That was a game. And push the exhaust over, as you can see, and then to get up behind here, I just used a small 1/4" drive ratchet with an 18mm socket on, an adapter, and I managed to get it out quite loose actually. Well, not loose, but they came undone okay. They're torqued up. I'm just wondering whether I should put, for future reference, the bolt in from the back on the when I put them back in. I don't know. So the bushes, I don't know if you can see that, but as you can see, there's some gap in between that centre part and centrepiece. I'm sure that shouldn't be there. So I'm going to take these into the garage now. There you go, look, that shows it. See the gap here? That shouldn't be there. So I'm going to take them into the garage now, pop the centre out, pop them in the vise, pop the centre out, put the new bushes in. These are quite soft. The yellow ones that I bought are a harder bush. And hopefully, yeah, that's gone. Hopefully they'll be last a bit longer. I might give them a clean as well. Right, get back to it. I've noticed there's a bit of corrosion up there. I don't know whether you can see it, just above where the bolts are for the next one. So I'm going to get me, there's a bit there, there's a bit up there, there's a bit there. So I am going to get my fluid film out and give that a spray, see if we can prevent it from getting any worse. Right then, I'll go and pop these bushes out and clean them up and put the new ones in, and I'll show you what happens. So they're out. just pop those out. It was quite easy actually, better than what I thought. The insert I just pushed out with a socket, approximately the right size. So I just tapped them out and they come straight out. And these, as they sit in with there, just used the socket and just tapped them out. Really easy. A little bit concerned about how these are corroding up, but I've given this one a clean before I reassemble with some harder ones. Okay, so that's the new ones in. Bush has been pushed in and the insert's gone in. Really easy. You can see how big the hammer is. Just a little toffee hammer just to knock them in. The inserts with a socket over it. So yep, it's going to go back in now. Got new bolts for the swing arms. No, that's not a bolt. Yeah, got new bolts for the swing arms, so I should put them in with new bolts from Lookers at Stafford. And I'll get the top one out, do the same. I'm not going to show you any more of this. I'll just show you in the back in. Yeah, I know I'm going to have an alignment. I've already got an alignment booked. I'm going to Track Toys in Norton Keynes, which is just up the road from me. And they do a race alignment or a fast road alignment, which is I'm going to have. And they used to have a mini R56 that they used to race as well. Got very successful with it, so they know about minis with alignments. So yeah, just marked out which one's the outside here, because it's always good practice to put them back the way they come out. Well, then I'm going to take the other ones out. I'm just going to put the jack under the hub just to hold it up in the right position when I take them out. And then I am going to put some anti-seize on the bolts as they go back in here, just to make sure they don't seize in, because the worst thing that can happen if those bolts seize in. So some anti-seize in here. Not copper slip. I use the Permatex silver stuff. I do use copper slip, but only on high temperature stuff like exhausts. And I'm going to spray a little bit of fluid film, which is here. Spray a bit of fluid film on them when they're in, just over here, just to keep it nice and clean. And I'm also going to put some of that on those rust bits that I saw under the car. So I don't fancy taking the back end out again. Not for another 12 months, 2 years. Okay, I'll go and carry on, get the other one out, get it done, and I'll show it you when it's back in and put together before I start the other side. All right. Okay, so I thought I'd give you my tip on how to get at the back of here, because there's a hole in the back of the subframe here. You notice as the brake cable goes through it as well, the handbrake cable. It's in the way really of getting a decent way of holding the nut at the back, to tighten it up and to torque it to, I think it's 100 Newton meters for this one. So the way I do it is I've got a 1/4 inch ratchet with a 1/4 to 3/8 adapter on, and then a 3/8 shallow socket, not a super shallow socket, but a shallow socket. You can get these, I mean this is one out of me Halford's advanced kit. And then you just got to finagle it up the back. I'm not going to actually need 2 hands. You've got to get it up, so you put it up in the aperture, and then you have to turn it and then manipulate it onto the end of the nut that's in there, and then you can get your spanner on there. Then you hold it in position and just tighten it up. Of course this has got to be on tighten. So I just thought I'd tell you that that's the way I do it. I had to go and remind myself how I did it when I put the back end in, and that's the way I did it. So yeah, up there, turn it round, get it on, and then hold it with one hand while you tighten this one up with another ratcheting spanner until you get your torque wrench out for 100 Newton meters. Alright guys, top tip. And that's it in position for the top hole, which is the worst one because the brake cable's in the way, the handbrake cable's in the way. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Right, some more shenanigans today on the Mini. It's been a long time since I've been working on this, and I haven't been able to because of personal problems. My mother-in-law hasn't been very well. Better now, so we're going to get back onto the Mini and start getting it ready to get back on the road. So I've wintered it, and as you might have seen in the previous video, it didn't winter very well. So far I've done the rear control arm bushes. I've done, well, I didn't do these myself. I had to get Olly round to give me a hand because I couldn't get my hand down there. But the knock sensor, I've done that. And today's shenanigans is a new battery because the battery didn't winter very well. So I need to go down to Halfords, get myself a new battery, and also I've got to drop the exhaust off because the exhaust needs to go to Road Speed Developments to have a new flexible joint welded in because it's scraped the floor because I'm just a little bit low for the roads around where I live. So you can see how much clearance I've got. I've probably gone into my exhaust by about 6mm. So I've already got a full fast road alignment booked in with track toys, and I've got to get that done. So for the MOT, I've got to do the exhaust. I'll get it for MOT, then I can get down track toys and get it all sorted up. But I think it's going to pass apart from that. After a clean as well, because look at the state of my roof. We've had a lot of sand drop out on a little bit of rain that we've had so far, so I'm going to be very careful when I wash it. And it's also on my son's car, it's on my mother-in-law's car, and it's on my Defender. Yeah, so I know I haven't been videoing much, but I hope to resolve that this summer, and I hope to be getting some more videos out for you guys to have a look at and comment on and whatever. I am getting a new number plate. It's up for auction, so I'm bidding on that at the moment. That'll be a surprise. When I've got that and how much I've spent on that, because it's quite a good number plate, some paint work needs to be done. So these are going black contrast roof, and in the boot of the car is a spoiler. Spoiler has gone for is track car aero, is it? What is it? Yeah, track car aero. And the reason why, if you have a look at most spoilers, they all riv nut into the rear channel, which is fine, but they all require to remove the R56 spoiler and put an R50 spoiler on a smaller spoiler. It's just so small. I don't want that. I like my spoiler. So this one again fits in here, but it sits a lot higher, sits all the way out here, so it's a bit of a what's it going to look like? We'll find out when I stick it on. Yeah, so I'm going to jack her up, take the rear diffuser off, to get to the hangers, take the centre brace out, undo the clamp at the front, take the exhaust out, and then I'll get the battery out. Once I've done the paint on the scuttles and the roof, contrast roof, then I am going to have a look at getting some vents in the bonnet to let some temperature out. So yeah, that's going to be interesting with this lot underneath there. Cutting a couple of holes in my bonnet, that's not going to be good. So yeah, I am going to put this video all into one and entitle it something like dewinterising the car. But the MOT is the big one for me at the moment. Okay, so I'll get on. I'm going to jack it up and show you what I'm doing. I've had to call in some help on a job I'm doing from Olly, who's got smaller hands than me, because I've had a problem with my car, and it's to do with the knock sensor. The knock sensor came back as implausible, and I can't even show you where it is. It's up there at the back of the starter motor. Bit of a nightmare to get. So Olly's got longer arms and smaller hands than me. Thanks, all. Buy you a beer tomorrow on Tuesday when we go out for my birthday. Is it going in?
It's on.
Did you get it connected?
Yeah.
Oh, good man.
But
Everybody needs an Olly.
do you think there's any position it needs to be in?
It needs to be clocked to be pointing behind the starter motor, because that's where it was.
Yeah, that's it.
So I could see it.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Look at this. Got a big hole in my exhaust. Far too low. I'm having it aligned at Track Toys Racing once I've got my MOT, so I've got to have a chat to the MOT inspector. So I know it's gone, but you can't change it. It's got to go to Road Speed Developments to get it changed. I've got it booked in, but I just need my MOT, please, Mr. MOT man. So here we go. And I need to speak to Lowen again, because my gearbox all is back. All like is back. Am I stopping you all?
Yeah, I was just going to nip it up.
Okay.
Your track running.
What's up with them?
Rusty as hell.
As long as they work. What's he on about? Yeah, they are a bit rusty.
Considering.
Need new ones. Considering how long
these
these
replaced them, really.
These control arms are rusty as well, and they've only just been put back on.
Bloody UK.
Ball joints are okay. Yeah, so I don't think there's anything to call out on the MOT. I'll have a good look round it later. You're struggling, mate. Imagine me doing it with my big old fat hands. Right, on that note, I'm going. That's your all.
See you later.
And there it is, done. Offending article. Cheers all.
No problem.
On to the next job now. Right, I know a lot of you will be looking at this thinking, oh, you're mad, what are you doing working on the drive on a slope in the car? I've done it all before. I've got my jack there, I've got axle stands, and I've got a couple of ramps under the wheel should the unfortunate happen and it comes down. So yeah, so I'm just about to start now, removing the diffuser. You've seen a video on this, you should have seen a video of this on my channel of this, but that's basically just Torx bits there. This section comes down, that allows me then to get to the hangers on the back. The middle section comes down, and the front section, there's hangers on the front section, and there's a V-band bolt up the front that's got to come out. Then the exhaust just drops down nice and easy. I have noticed as well, I'm going to have to adjust. I don't know whether you can see that. Let's have a look. Have a look here. My exhaust has been moving back over on both sides as well, and it's come into contact with the diffuser. So I might ask the guy who's putting the flexible joint on just to take 10mm off the length, so it pushes the exhaust that way a bit. Okay, let's get on with this then. Right, so that's the diffusers off, and also I've relaxed the hangers off the exhaust. I had a bit of a problem with that because I've got a special tool. I've got this, which is an exhaust hanger push-out tool, which is a piece of piss to do with it, but the problem is it's broke. I don't know if you can see that split. It's typical. It's made of Swiss cheese. US Pro. I'm gonna have to buy a better one. maybe a blue point or even a snap-on. Okay, so I'm off to the front now to do the V-band clamp. Did the same again with the front hooks, and then I'll do the centre. I'll do the centre of the exhaust. Let's get on it. Okay, so that's just 13mm on the V-band clamp. Pull the V-band clamp back a bit, and you can see the carnage on the flexible joint. It's quite bad. I am going to lift up the front a bit, I think. Right then, so the problem now is those in the middle. These rubbers, they're going to be a pain in the butt. And down the bottom, I've supported the back box. Let's see if I can just zoom in a bit. There we go. I've supported the back box on my rolly still, just so I can not damage the back box when it comes down, because I've got to get that bracket off as well. Let's just pull it back out. So now is going to be the fun to get these goddamn things off without my tool, because there's not a lot of room to work. Okay, let's get on with it. So front's done now. These are off. Forgot it wasn't as bad as what the rears were back there, because these haven't got a mushroom on. So the way you fit this exhaust is you slide it in there, slide it back, you mount these first, then you mount those at the back. Okay, so I've removed the jack stand from here and I put the jack stand underneath there in case the unthinkable happens. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the jack stand back in. Okay, so that's the exhaust out. That's the plate I was on about. And there's just 6 10mm headed bolts there, mates, I think they are. Right, so that's the exhaust out. I'm just going to flip this over so you can see why I took it out and why it would have been an MOT failure. So that's the underside of the exhaust, I believe. Yep. Now, why it was failing, obviously, was because of this. That is quite bad. But also as well, we've got evidence of a blow there, so that needs a new clamp. And the same there, so that needs a new clamp. I'm going to leave that on there and get the guy to fix them. I should probably have some new clamps on this anyway. That one looks alright. And it's a... You see that? Scorpion exhaust. Actually, I quite like the exhaust, it's quite nice. Right then, so I'm going to get the Mini back on its paws. And next job is going to be whip the battery out and then take the induction system out so I can get down there and have a look at the gearbox linkages, and I'll talk about that when I get to it. There you go, so that's the battery house. It's 740 cranking amps, 80 amp hour, HSB 906 with a 5-year warranty from Wassa. Just got to find the receipt now. Get it out quite easy. You undo this bolt here, top of the fender. You undo the plastic nut here on the top of the fender. You undo this battery clamp. Right, quite easy to do. You pull the plastic battery cover off. I'll show you where that is, just in case you've never done it before. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Yep, so that's it. That's the bit that you pull off, and obviously the seal. It's not too bad in there. I'll give it a clean before I put it back in. Bear in mind as well, you must put this back on. This is a a water stroke condensed stroke, I don't know what it is really, fume pipe, and it goes into the side of the battery there. And as the battery's being charged, when it's driving, it gives off fumes, and that takes the fumes, and hydrochloric acid fumes or something like that, in a way, and it takes them out of the car, puts them down on the floor. So you must put that back on. Right then, so that's it for today. Shenanigans have stopped. I'm going to be going to take it down, take the exhaust down after I've cleaned it to Road Speed Developments in Eccleshaw. Then I've got to go and try and find my receipt, because that's a 5-year guarantee. I haven't had the car 5 years, I've had the car 4 years. So I've got to try and find the receipt, or try and find a bank statement that's got the same that amount of money for that battery going out of my account, and I'll get a free one, hopefully. If you're wondering what these stains are on the floor, I went around with some weed killer yesterday. They'll be jet washing the drive soon. Okay, so shenanigans have finished for today. I will be resuming tomorrow, hopefully, with the battery and taking the cold charge air pipe, so I can have a look at the gearbox and see why I'm not going into reverse. Alright guys, that's it for me today. 24 hours for me. It's going to be about a minute for you. Alright, see you later. So this reverse gear problem, good old Olly's popped round. He's been trying to put it into reverse while I've been looking at the actuator, and diagnosed the problem now, because I have looked at what the gear cables were doing when we were trying to get it into reverse, which they're down there like that, and once I knew which way they were supposed to go, I got the old spanners out and pop the cables off, and then manually using the counterweight here, I've managed to get it into reverse, which is to pull it right up and then twist it anti-clockwise, and it went thunk. And the reverse lights are now saying that it is in gear. Obviously the gear stick's not in gear because I've got the cables undone. So the problem, now this has gone into gear, is definitely the coolerworx shifter adjustment down there. So those two cables are clashing with each other when I'm trying to get into reverse, causing the problem where I can't get it in reverse. So the fix is pop these cables back on into the car, and I'm going to try and do the adjustment without getting the centre console out, because that's a pain in the arse. And if I can't, I'm going to have to put the centre console out, and if I get the centre console out, I've got a spare one, and I'll cut a new one up and make sure that it's a lot better. So I'm happy now. Diagnosed. Cheers all, thank you very much. There's my daughter Piper. Okay, that's me done. Let's go and get this fixed. Right, I have just started to look at seeing if I can do the adjustment on my coolerworx without having to take the centre console out, and I think I can. This has been perplexing me, this job, because if you look down there, you can see something that they call, if I can get that into a better position, the rocker arm, which is, if I can get my hand down there, which is this bit, okay? And I was wondering why all of a sudden, after the winter, it has decided not to go into reverse gear. And what I've done is I've pulled the bottom of the centre console out and gained myself some access. So I thought, yes, I can get up there now and do it. And when I was put my hand around there and I was looking down there, to see what had happened, I'll show you what I think I've found and what I think is causing the problem. This locking nut is loose. So if that locking nut is loose, does that affect the position of the reverse gear gate, which I think it might do. So my first thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to adjust anything. I'm just going to tighten this locking nut up because it's not very tight at the moment, and I think that might, I'm hoping that might fix the issue, because I've set the coolerworx up when I installed it to the same instructions that they supplied. And the instructions that they supplied is that rocker arm that we just looked at sets the position of this gear stick. So if your rocker arm is long, it brings it this way towards 5th and 6th. If your rocker arm is short, it brings it that way, I think, to 1st and 2nd. So you set it in the middle. So all you do, well, I think I can show you now if I just move my torch. So all you do is you push it forward for 3rd and back for 4th. And that's to help miss shifts when you're changing quickly, because you only have to go over a slight bit. If you see that, that's all you have to go over for 1st and 2nd. So in fact I think that was 2nd there. So for quick shifts, just being able to push it up to 3rd and pull it down to 4th without any side to side movement knows that when you're changing, all you do is you say if you're in 5th and you want to go to 4th, sorry, 2nd or 3rd, all you do, pull it out, push it forward, and you know you're in 3rd gear, and there's 4th. So if you're in 5th and you want to go to quickly to 4th, pull it out, then pull it down. I believe that's why the coolerworx needs to be positioned like that, and I didn't understand why it changed. So all I'm going to do now is tighten that up, check that everything's still tight, and then see if it will go over in the gate to get into reverse, and we'll see how we get on. Oh, and how I'm going to do that, I think it's a 10mm. I think the 10mm just goes up there. Took the light out now. Put my light down there. So if you can see there now, I can quite easily get a 10mm spanner in there. Okay, so I'm just going to nip that up, make sure the bottom one's tight, and see if it will go into reverse. Let's see what happens. Right, so following a bit of fettling, now let's have a look. That's reverse. It now goes into reverse. I'll put the clutch in, and you can see it is still quite close, but it's not right yet, because I've got 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th's a bit notchy. Now if you can see down there, the 5th gear, the bottom of it is hitting the bracketry of the coolerworx. And if I come back for 6th, it's very difficult to get it into 6th because it's hitting that. So I think I've just over adjusted it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to readjust that, take the locks off, and readjust that back half a turn and see if that makes it any better. Right, so I think I'm there. If you can see that lot down there. 1st, yeah, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, go over to 5th, then come back to 6th. So 5th and 6th are a little bit more notchy than they used to be. And if you watch this, let's just zoom in a little bit. There we go. See the 2 balls? watch those as they come together. Oh, get into reverse. That's in reverse. See how close they are when it goes into reverse. That's gone into reverse. You see how close they were. That's the problem. That's the initial problem that I had. So I'm going to have to keep my eye on this, and I'm going to retighten them locking nuts up a bit now, and see how I get on. So let's get the spanners in. Down here again. It's not focusing very well, is it? We'll zoom out a bit. Yeah, so get the spanners in down here again and tighten these up. Hopefully that's that done, and I can take it off for an MOT when I get my exhaust back. I'll just do one more check. Neutral, reverse. Let's go and have a look. Yep, so the reversing lights are on. So, what a pain in the arse. Right, I'm going to get this tightened up, and then we'll see what it's like. Okay, so that's all that back together, and I think I'm just waiting for my exhaust to come back now. Pop that on, and then I can go and take it for my MOT. Right then, so I think I'm going to end this video here. I've got another couple of videos to do. I'll get those videos done and get them up and posted. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys. See you later.